All right. Hello, Virgo. How's everybody doing today? Hopefully you're off to a great start or you've had a great day. It's really good to see you. Welcome to my new space. I had someone asking about schedules. They'll be posted soon. In the meantime, I tend to put 2 to 3 videos up at a time for reminders. So thank you for being patient as I get settled in. I just moved in on the 1st. So still getting caught up with that. Plus, I've been doing daily, so I restarted that. So by the way, if you haven't already, check that out. You can also follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter, as well as all the social media platforms, and I posted a link in the comments here. Little Apollo here is just waking up. I'm going to put him down so we can focus on what's coming through for today, although it looks like he wants to give some kisses to you and to all of us. First things first, my name is Nicholas Ashbaugh. We're going to be looking at the next 6 to 8 weeks, and basically the way that I read tarot is I like to empower you with opportunities and with information, because if there's no chance to shift things, why are we watching? So what we see here is a glimpse of what's possible, and I'm going to try to help you see the best choices and make the best choices that you can. The format's right here. I always begin with channeled information, comes through dreams, and also the research that I do right before I get set up. And then we'll get into the Celtic Cross after that. The Celtic Cross also takes on whatever shape it needs to, and then I look at health, wealth, love, and destiny after that. There's a lot more to come, but we'll get into that as we get a little closer to those portions. Before we kick things off, just a quick reminder that it would be great for you to hit the subscribe button to join this group and this family and keep in touch with what's going on. Again, I had a question about schedules. That's the best way to keep in touch so you know when I post new things, including to the community tab. Plus, we're really close to a milestone. So once I hit 325,000, I will do a Q&A video. And I'm going to start to do that on the quarters so that we can have more of those because they're fun. A reminder, when you do join me across social media platforms, remember I don't use DMs and I don't offer private readings. Also, I don't have any backup accounts. It's just my name. So those are some ploys that a lot of the imposters do. And I do my best to get rid of them when I see them, but I want to repeat that as much as possible. So if someone offers you a reading, you know it's not me. And finally, if you'd like to show love and support, the way to do it is through super stickers, super chat, and then any of the native platform specific things like badges and stars on other networks. Okay? That, my friends, is everything. I just noticed we didn't light the candle, so we can do that together today. And then we'll get started. We'll give Apollo a little pat as we're doing it. I know, buddy. What's up? All right, so I like to always light a candle before I begin. Sometimes I do it before I start, but we're going to do it together today. So let's just set an intention to connect to the divine light. Close your eyes, see a ray of sunshine or moonlight shining on you, and see that silver energy encompassing your body. And let's connect to that source with gratitude. And then whatever you consider the divine to be, God or other deities, I want you to see that energy and feel that you've also plugged into that so that we are being led by the highest possible light. And with love and with gratitude, we welcome in the divine, the archangels, our guides and spirits and ancestors so that we may receive the messages that we need today. All right. I also put up a little poll for those of you that have joined live so you can vote on the deck you'd like me to use today. And let's get into the presentation for the channeled messages. Today we're looking at a couple of my favorite totems. One is going to be Odin, but Odin came to me through the crow. And as I was walking the dog in this new neighborhood, a couple of crows were really cawing loudly, and I was like, yes, today you're going to be the totem. I hear you, I see you. And through them, I actually dug into a lot of the research that I'd already done on Odin and a little bit of new research as well. So let's talk about it. Many of you may know this, but if you don't, we'll talk about it now. But the Hanged Man is based on Odin and the way that he gained the secret to knowledge, the knowledge of the runes. Basically, he always wanted to learn more and have more power, and in that quest to seek knowledge, he pierced himself with a spear and hanged himself by the ankle from the branch of the world tree, Yggdrasil. And from this vantage point, he peered into the well of Erd for approximately a week, almost a week and a half, 9 days here. 9 days and nights. And then on that 9th night, his patience was rewarded, and he saw the secret and the shapes of the runes. And these weren't just like alphabet letters. They were actually symbols that carried with them knowledge and power, as runes do. I would say even words have that same power. So it's about the energy that you put into a word. That's the difference between blessing someone, and then when we even use the word curse word, when we say something negative, the negative energy is charged in that. So anyway, his patience was rewarded. He learned things, he gained knowledge, and basically this is a reminder that a pause in our life, sort of like, sometimes it's a full stop, sometimes it's a semicolon, sometimes it's ellipses, different types of pauses or stops. They're not the end. They're oftentimes the beginning of things. Because when we are asked to stop and regather our sort of, integrate our knowledge and gather our thoughts, that's when inspiration comes through. So that's a nice segue into the next card, which is teaching us about patience with temperance here. So patience, faith, and divine timing, I would say, are what also the Hanged Man teaches us. Temperance helps us carry those lessons with us from day to day. So the message here is that you're not stuck. You're beginning something new. You're at the precipice of accomplishing something new. So don't let a pause, a delay, or a plateau stop you. During any periods of rest, take that time and embrace it. It doesn't happen often enough, right? Celebrate the progress that you've made and listen. I found that the universe is always speaking to us, but a lot of times it's speaking quietly in a whisper. There are times where it does speak in a loud voice, but oftentimes it's a whisper. Speaking of which, I can hear my monitor on the side. Sometimes I forget to turn it down. So I want you to be mindful of those voices of knowledge and wisdom that are running through your head. They're trying to help you. It's your intuition, it's your instinct coming through, okay? Be patient with yourself, be patient with the timing. During any of these pauses in progress, one of the great things that you can actually do is learn or review things. Eight of Pentacles, really great card to show the combination of the two. This can be school, training, apprenticeship, mentorship. All of these are connected to the energy of Odin, the Hanged Man, etc., and also the Eight of Pentacles. This is a perfect time to do something you love, brush up on a skill that you've always wanted to learn, and look deeper at details of existing things. So Eight of Pentacles is also a review and an editing card. And so one of the things that you may want to do is to look at something you thought was finished. There may be something that you're able to discern and think, oh, I forgot about that. Or look at some old research and you might be able to learn something different this time around. Space, distance, time can kind of give you new perspectives through which you can see things. New lenses are coming through. And you're being potentially asked to slow down here with the Hanged Man so that you are capable of looking at something again. There could be an efficiency, a way to do something faster or better. There could be new knowledge that helps you approach it differently. So any delays or pauses are actually divinely provided to help you avoid something or help you see something. There are trade-offs or opportunity costs. That's a very business term. But it's basically saying that if you want something, there's an exchange, an energetic exchange that's necessary. So going back into Odin and talking a little bit more about some of the exchanges he made, we just learned that he sacrificed some time and some blood when he was hanging from the tree of knowledge or tree of life. The other thing that he wanted to do was to drink from the well of Erd so that he could, again, get more knowledge. But there was a guardian there, and it basically said, you can get that, but you have to give something. So that's how he lost one of his eyes. And even gods were not exempt from exchanging energy or paying their dues. And that's kind of interesting here. He was the All-Father, so he was like one of the most divine energies, and he still had to sacrifice things to get things, which is one of the cool things with Norse mythology, is that no one or no thing is above the sort of laws of the universe. So he teaches us the importance of patience, the power of knowledge, and also the cost associated with getting things. So to go to school, even if it's, let's say you're in a country where you're fortunate enough to have school that's provided through taxpayer money, you still have to sacrifice time and energy, right? So you're going to give away a certain amount of your life to learn something. Maybe it's a year, 2, 4 years, 8 years, etc. You sacrifice time. There's always a sacrifice. So sometimes it's time and money. Sometimes it's time. It's always energy because you have to read, learn, ask, be tested on this. So school is a great example of being put through an initiation period so that you can gain something. It's both the knowledge and also the certificate or the recognition that then opens doors. So everything in life has these sorts of trade-offs, and what you want to do is figure out if it's worth it. So I put Lady Justice here. We could have also put the Six of Pentacles because you have to decide how much or if at all you want to engage in it. But the reason I chose Justice here is because you can also negotiate. If something doesn't seem fair or doesn't seem like it's enough, get the exchange you needed, just like Mimir did and said, yes, sir, you can do this, but we're going to need your eye. We don't necessarily want to go that far. But for some of you, it's sort of like maybe you've been giving away a lot of products and services, and now you're going to just make sure that you're getting an exchange for that. Or there's a contract and you're about to sign it for a house or for a job, and you want to make sure if it's a house, you're not paying too much, and if it's a job, you're not paid too little. Getting that proper exchange, okay? You have the capacity to do it. You're very organized, you're very capable, and this is your chance to engage with that, okay? Eye-opening energy here. So the crows are associated, or the ravens rather, are associated with Odin, and they are his eyes and ears. And they're asking us to trust our eyes and ears and also our third eye. And a lot of times when we are shown things in intuition, we're not ready to see it, we may not believe it, or even once we're manifesting things, there's this question of, can this really be? So have faith, trust in the vision, trust in the instinct, take action. You are being divinely led toward the next, door opening opportunity and eye opening opportunity. I was also shown in dreams the importance of your words, and I love this card from the Wild Unknown deck, which shows us how words and deeds can and will travel this month. So the good news is that some positive energy is en route to you. And what I kind of saw was or heard was your name on their lips. So people talking about you. Now, this can also indicate gossip that you could be engaged in. So we want to avoid that kind. We want to have good word of mouth. That's great for businesses, for social engagements, and just for reputation in general. But what you want to avoid is getting involved in any sort of negative gossip about someone else. That can and it will get back to the source that you're talking about, and you don't want to be associated with that. So stop it when it's happening if you're in the presence of it, or just walk away if you can't stop it. It's a time to mix, mingle, and to network, especially if you've had a plateau period where you're wanting to make new friends, or you need to find a new job, or you're trying to open up a door. The way to do so is by basically getting out there and networking. You could also meet somebody new. 3 of Cups is love just as much as it is networking and word of mouth. Looking at the birds on this, remembering what I just went through this morning, crows and ravens are outspoken. So if you need to get something done, speak up. Your voice will be heard above the rest of the voices in the room. So it's a time to definitely say what you need to say. And then the last card that we're looking at today is leave things on a good note. You don't know when that ex-friend, lover, or boss may be someone that you have to talk to or see again to possibly get something new. They could be a gatekeeper in the future. So it's better to leave things on a clean slate and have no excess baggage or karma. It's especially true if you don't want to see the person again. Just do everything you're supposed to do and throw the key behind you and say enough is enough. But you definitely don't want to leave anything unsaid or undone. So if you've promised to do something, do it. And if you need to say or do something to clear things up, by all means, do that as well. Okay? Let's take a look and see which deck of cards you guys want me to use today. I threw a few out there for consideration. And you're going to use the Spirit Within, which is a really cool deck. This one has some, it's basically silhouettes. And so I like that because it gives us a chance to focus on the messages. So let me just, again, tap my monitor because now I can't see it. Okay. So you just joined, perfect timing, first and foremost. we're going to go into the Celtic Cross. Celtic Cross is going to give us what we need to basically navigate the month ahead. In my particular style of reading, I choose to focus more broadly in this area, so it's not just love or career, it's anything that needs to come through. So we'll kind of let the cards show us the journey, and then we'll go into health, wealth, love, and destiny after that. All right, so let's zoom in a little bit so you can see what I'm seeing and get started. Okay, thanks for voting, everybody. And again, we're looking at the Celtic Cross right now. Typically, this goes for the next 6 to 8 weeks. So if you're watching live, it's going to help you in the present month and also the following month. Thanks again for the patience in letting me get my schedules up there. For now, I'm just kind of posting 3 videos at a time, and then I do my daily videos as well. So just keep an eye on the main page for updates. Thanks for the kind words on the book that I wrote. I'm always happy to hear feedback on that. I'm looking at the chat right now. All right, let's expand this forecast and then we'll get started. Some really great cards so far. Looks like a power shifting month for you because we have the Emperor card showing up in the outcome, but we'll talk more in just a second. I also see you moving away from things that don't serve you anymore. So positive movement. I can tell just at a glance that you're headed in the right direction and the doors are opening up for you. It's a good month. I love how these colors all kind of mesh together too. This is a nice choice of decks. I don't always use it. I'm trying to make sure that I put 1 or 2 of the less used decks up when I throw out a poll for everyone, and so far you guys have been choosing it. So yeah, this is a great choice. Let's begin and let's see what's coming through. So we have the stone card here, and it was kind of on its side. And when I'm using it as a catalyst, what this is showing me, it reminds me actually a lot of like a gigantic pentacle, an Ace of Pentacles. And your crowning card was just that, the Ace of Pentacles. And so with this ace on its side, it's saying that there could be an opportunity coming from left field or from an unexpected source. And one of the things that's important for you is to get your grounding and to get your sort of the information that you need to feel confident and comfortable about that. So ask some questions and consider something that you wouldn't normally do as an opportunity, as something that could be viable. So that's what I see as an opportunity coming from left field, from an unexpected source, from an unexpected direction. Nonetheless, it could be a very important or very compatible opportunity. And the interesting thing with the universe is sometimes these things have a way of finding us. So even if, or especially when you're not looking, something can come to you because you're detached and you're open and you're available. And so opportunity is coming knocking. We'll see how and when to kind of deal with that, but that's the first thing that I see here. The other thing for some of you, it's just a general note to practice your grounding meditation a little bit more. So if the stone card is pointing in a different direction, you could just be focusing on something that isn't worth your time and energy, and it's saying, let's get grounded again and bring everything into focus, okay? So make sure that you're not distracted, make sure that you're open, and it's really interesting that it's pointing to the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. And the Ace of Pentacles in the upright position would be an easy opportunity. Yeah, let's take it, let's do it. This would be something where you have an opportunity to negotiate, or where, again, you have to see how it feels for you. It's kind of like you're taking the two like in the Two of Pentacles, and you're weighing it out and saying, do I want to do this? Do I want to do that? Or Six of Pentacles and deciding. So there's a little bit of that discernment that's definitely a part of the next step or the next phase in your life. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's start with the center card here. We have the Nine of Swords. The Nine of Swords is reversed, but let's just look at it in the upright position. So really interesting how they chose to kind of put, it's almost like these, a halo or a crown of swords around this person's crown chakra. What's happening with Nine of Swords energy a lot of times is we go to worst case scenarios and we think, and it can often be the night before something big, it could be a day where you're going to do a proposal at work, or you're going to ask someone out, or it's the day before a move, and you just start to worry about all the little things that could go wrong. There's a time and a place for that sort of planning, contingency planning, and focusing on making sure that you have like a nice insurance or a nest underneath you to take care of yourself. But there's also a point at which it doesn't serve a purpose. And because the Nine of Swords is reversed, it's saying, let's let go of the fears. Let's focus on possibilities, and let's transform some of the fears into possibilities as well. And I talk about this a lot, but it bears repetition. So some of us might be in the, why, not why, I would say even like, can this happen? And I usually say like, why can't it happen? And then just say, this is going to happen. You move yourself through, you talk to yourself. You have to talk yourself out of the fears. And then understand that a fear sometimes just requires knowledge. Like if it is something like this, well, what if this goes wrong? Just find a plan B. Well, if this goes wrong, then I'll do this. Eventually you're going to stop what-ifing and say, well, I've got it all planned out. So planning is your friend if you're in that fearful state, and then turning the questions upside down and inside out. What if I'm too young? What if I'm perfectly aged for this? What if my experience is more than enough? What if they don't care about age? Well, what if I fail? Well, what if I succeed? Am I ready for the success? Let's get that together too. So always plan the other side of the phase, because if we look at the Justice card that I chose, and this is from the Light Seers deck, you'll see that it has two different sides, and there's always two sides to every story. And one thing that I like to remind myself and all of us of is that ability to see it from both sides, just like the Joni Mitchell song, right? Both sides now. So there's always another way to approach it. So try to find that constructive way to look at things, okay? Let's go ahead back to the cards and see what's going on here. All right, so it feels like you could just kind of be overthinking or working yourself into a state of fear or anxiety, and we're going to focus on letting go of that. The other thing with this, before I move to the card that's crossing it, would just be to focus on sleep quality and quantity. We do need a certain amount. I know that if I don't get, let's say maybe 5 hours, I'm not really good. I probably could operate on 4, but no less than that. I'm tired, I'm cranky, I would need a nap. I like 6, I love 8. So between 6 to 8 is a sweet spot. And then usually after 10, I'm groggy in a different way. So find how little and how much you need, make sure you're not burning the candle at both ends. There are times where you can get away with less. There are times when you need a lot more. So focus on listening to your body. All right, we have the Queen of Swords on top of this, nicely aligned to all of the crow energy that we talked about today, because I was talking about your voice being heard above others, the power of your words, how both your words and your deeds have the ability to be seen and heard, and she is a card of communication and action. If any card is, the Queen of Swords is. In some ways, I think the queens do more than the king cards. The king cards are a little bit more complacent, and the queen cards are more receptive, more active, more connected. So you definitely have this ability to kind of like ride both sides of the equation, which is to be in a position of power, but also kind of like roll up your sleeves, get some work done. And it's the ability to show your stuff that's actually going to help you out. So walking the walk and talking the talk, very important. Don't be afraid of what I'm looking at these two. It's like speaking perfectly or doing things perfectly, executing it perfectly. It's actually about just being there and doing that, and in the moment, course correcting as needed. Because good leaders, it's not all like a TV movie or a Broadway play where there's rehearsals and you get a chance to get the right take. When you're doing something for real, accidents happen and changes are necessary. And so people are judging you not on your perfection, but on your reaction time and your recovery time. And so I actually think if I'm looking at a good leader, in this case, her recovery and reaction skills would be just as important as how rehearsed and how planned and how knowledgeable she was about something. So focus on everything, knowing that those other things are a key piece. It's one of the reasons, now I'm very happy and comfortable doing it, but when I first started doing live readings a few years back, I was worried that everything wouldn't be perfect. But now I think that's part of the fun. It's like watching a live performance, right? There's more energy into that. And like when you're listening to a singer and maybe their voice cracks a little bit or whatever, you just know that that's them really being there. So your real raw energy in the moment is what's going to make you powerful. So it's not about perfection, it's about recovery, it's about being present, it's about how you can put all of this into practice. And it's good advice in general because perfection's overrated, right? A lot of times when I listen to music that's overproduced, I would prefer like a live or a less produced version, like a single take, to something where there's tons of layers. I was listening to something the other day with a friend when we were at a restaurant, and it was a pop star, and I liked this person's voice, but it was so compressed and there was so much auto-tune. I'm like, this just sounds like a robot singing, and my friend agreed. So I think there's a point at which you can actually over-perfect it, and it's like, what is it? It's this realm where it's kind of alien, and that's not what we want. So don't worry about being perfect. All right, deep past. We have the Queen of Wands in reverse. This is definitely a card of overthinking when she's reversed. When she's upright, she's one of the most powerful cards you can have because she's like quintessential boss. She can solve any problem. She's really in touch with her instincts and her intuition. When she's reversed, what could be happening here, she could be taking someone else's words too much to heart. So this can be critical energy that gets into your headspace. So someone else, this card was crossed, so this could be someone saying something or you hearing something, secondhand, and then this makes you start to think, oh my gosh, what about this? What about that? Should I do this? How am I going to deal with that? And basically, that gets you into your headspace in a way that takes away your power. So we don't want that to happen. Focus instead on what you know, what you trust, what your high priestess is kind of bringing through, your intuition is bringing through, and you're going to be fine, okay? Keep an open mind to different ways of doing things. One thing with the Queen of Wands in reverse is that you can teach an old dog new tricks, and you can do things differently, and sometimes when you get outside of your comfort zone, it's more fun, it's more engaging, you learn something new, so this is about trying something different, okay? Now we have a really great card to come through. I actually love your resource cards this month. We have the 9 of Pentacles and the Ace of Pentacles. Yes, they're reversed, but together they make a 10 and we see completion en route. So it's a good month for you with respect to resources, but there's some surprises and some things to learn. So let's talk about them first. All right, 9 of Pentacles. This card is all about, and it's matching my shirt today. This card is all about being able to take care of yourself, to be self-sufficient, and it's saying, I have more than enough. So it feels like many of you have the sort of energetic and mental goal of being self-sufficient. I can do this all by myself. The card in reverse is saying, however, there may be an opportunity for partnership or assistance that could aid in completion faster. And that doesn't make you any less competent or any less strong. It's not going to make you weak to say, yes, let's bring in that extra insight or that extra help. Sometimes it's just the smart thing to do because it gives you a chance to rest, it gives you a chance to finish something sooner, and it may actually be better with that extra piece of insight, resource, or assistance. So be open. You can decide yes or no, and you can definitely do it on your own, but there is an opportunity to speed things up if you want to do so. This card is about slow and steady, I will say. So when it comes to your long-term goals and to the work that you're doing on yourself, there's no snail on this card, but typically there is. That's just saying it takes a while, and that's okay. The snail is missing from this, and the card is reversed, so the usual connotations here are a little bit different, and it's saying Timing is a little bit more in your control than it normally would be, and it is in your control in the manner of like if you want to accept more assistance. You get to weigh it out, and you get to say no if you don't want to. Good news coming to you. We see the birds coming through again in this particular card, and listen to yourself. One thing with that bird is sometimes people can get into your ear, and I have a feeling that this little bird that's talking to her is also connected to the Nine of Swords here and the Queen of Swords. So there could be someone that kind of enjoys working you up, getting you worked up. This could be a parent, it could be a coworker, a friend, and they just like to get a rise out of you. So pay attention to consistently where that energy comes from and how you feel with that person, and decide, is this something I really want to do in the long run, or is this driving me a little crazy? Okay? So I see an external source that might be time to separate yourself from. Just food for thought. Your crowning card is fantastic. We have the Ace of Pentacles, and when I see an Ace of Pentacles, it's good whether it's reversed or it's upright. Upright, it's an easy yes, let's go for this, things are in the right direction. Reversed, it's saying, maybe I should ask for something. For those of you that have a hard time, like I said earlier, maybe speaking up and saying, you know, I can do this, but I need some more time, I need some more money, I need some more support. This is the time to speak up. You have a good chance of getting what you want. It's still an ace, but you have to reach for it first. If you tend to be a teacher, a boss, a nurse, a parent, not tend to be, if you are, if you're in that sort of maternal paternal energy, and you put a lot out for the universe. This is also about saying, but I need this, or, you know, I've helped you with this before, this is something I need, can I count on you? It's getting a return on that. And we don't do things solely for a return, but we also can't only give all the time. There are places where we need that exchange. And going back to the sort of myth about Odin and even how he had to give an eye to get knowledge, nobody is free of that. When I was a kid, I had to do chores in the house. It was a free ride. You know, you get to sort of be there. Your parents take care of you, but my parents needed help. They both worked. So I had to help with things like laundry and making dinner and cleaning the kitchen and stuff like that, because that was my exchange for having all these other things for free at home. And it was a fair exchange, and it taught me the importance of working and giving back and being a team. So, and I didn't get paid for it. I was already paid in free dinners and free clothes and love. So I don't even think sometimes you need to get money sometimes for things like that. It's like, this is just a part of being a family or a team. So this could be as simple as saying, I need your support. And if it's a partnership or a family, you definitely can lean into that, and that's fair, okay? It's hard to ask for that. Sometimes people need to be taught that. I was taught that as a kid, but not everyone has the same training. So you might have to model it, you might have to ask it, you might have to be very specific. The Queen of Swords came through in the center, and someone here could be used to taking. The Nine of Pentacles is a great card, but in reverse, sometimes it can be someone who's used to taking or receiving a lot. And so this card is about keeping that in check, okay? So now we have the Moon card here in the near future. So this is very interesting. The Moon card comes through when we need to look at something. We may not be ready or willing to do it immediately, but the card is saying, take a look at this. This is going to help you. So sometimes it's facing a fear and saying it's, you know, I'm over that now, or this no longer serves me. Sometimes it's listening to a dream that you received, because this is a nocturnal card, and it's saying, I've been putting this off to the side for way too long. I need to do something about that. It can also be an awakening where you realize this is who I am, or this is what I want to do, or you see something about someone that's coming through. It's not always a Seven of Swords moment. You could just be, someone could be revealing their authenticity, their kindness. They could also be revealing something not so good. The Moon card can be secrets. The thing with this is that the secrets usually get out, and with this card coming through, it's saying you're going to be able to see through that. So deal with your hopes and fears, because it's both. Get secrets out so that they're no longer carrying weight or energy. And if you do that, you're fine. This is also a card of intuition and divine feminine energy. So anything you put your mind to this month, especially if it's a hope or a dream or an aspiration, you have a really good chance of seeing progress, okay? All right. Let's go ahead now and focus on the next card here, and this is coming through as who you are, how you're kind of coming across to the world, and we have the Ace of Wands, which I love too. People are very interested in what you have to think about something. Don't hold back. The card is reversed. So it's a bolder card when it's reversed, but it's also, again, you're editing yourself a little bit. We want to take these cards and bring them upright and basically just go ahead and share it. There's always a chance later to revise, to edit, to add on to something. And there may also be benefit in partnering up. And as a creative, there was a point where with my book I had to work with a couple of different editors and just get some feedback and some ideas. And it's always hard to hand something off, but once you get the feedback, you're like, oh yeah, okay, that's cool. I hadn't thought of that. Let's try that. And you get to choose. So there's a chance if you're stuck to share it with someone. Otherwise, you're just overthinking it. And I was reading yesterday, and the message like the early bird gets the worm came through, and so that's sometimes what happens in a corporate environment or in a school environment. The first person to speak up gets the credit, even if you're thinking the same thing. Just get it out there. So I feel like you're onto something good, and let's develop it. I also love, for those of you that happen to be in either a creative or a scientific field, this is an idea, and this is investment in that idea. So in the case of something where it could be something that is worthy of a patent or some sort of protection, get that legal protection and then shop it around. You have a good chance of having maybe more than one offer, actually. So this is good because we have two aces, but that's showing interest and investment, which I like. Moving on to what's going on around you. It's like a revolving door with the Six of Swords. So for those of you in a company or even in a school or friend environment, there could be people coming and going. And it could be a sort of like musical chairs. That's the other thing that you could look at here. So for some of you, some people are entering, some people are exiting, and it's changing the dynamics at work, at school, or in your own friend and family circle. This is also saying that there could be someone new coming into your life from afar. So if you're looking for love, this could be someone not of your country or even culture, and same thing with friends and business opportunities. And just like Apollo is looking out the window, it's asking us to sort of look out there and see what's going on. He loves going to the windows now and kind of looking out there and seeing what's going on. I'm happy that he has more to see here at this new space. So be open to new opportunities, new directions, and it may sort of surprise you where you could go, what might open up to you. The other thing with the Six of Swords, it might be time to move or to move on. So this is specifically true if you are in if you are in a place where nothing new has happened for a while. So let's say it's a job and you've been doing the same old 9 to 5, and it's just feeling like, I can't do this another day. I'm starting to get bored. I'm starting to get sloppy. In a relationship, there could also be an opportunity to expand a little bit. You need to stretch. You need some stretch goals. You need to see some movement. So with respect to jobs, this is a chance to speak up and say, I would like to put myself out there for consideration of this or this. For a relationship, you could say, what if we did this together? Or, where do you see us going next if you're going to have that talk of exclusivity? There's a chance to bring it to the next level. And I do feel like it's either leveling up or leveling out. And if it's leveling out, it's time to move on. But at least provide the opportunity for the other person to take that next stride with you, because we have two aces here, so there's a good chance that they're interested too. Someone just has to take the initiative. Someone has to lead the dance, okay? Let's move on to two cards that stuck together here for hopes, fears, and opportunities. So we have the Ten of Swords and the Three of Swords. Oh my goodness, I'm so happy it's in this particular spot. So the two cards are reversed, which means it's time to heal. And for many of you, enough is enough. When I was a kid, that was a song on the radio. So enough is enough. We're tired of this. So the Ten of Swords in reverse is about letting go of pain. The Ten of Swords is a full stop card. It's a period. It's saying, no more, we're done with this. And there is a new dawn with it whenever this happens. So if you've had an argument, a falling out, if you've just had enough of a job or a friendship or a relationship, it's a blessing, because you can then move forward thinking, I know what I need to do next. And the Three of Swords in reverse is saying, I don't want to repeat this. I've had enough. I want my heart to heal. I really like how they just show the Band-Aid on the heart. You can infer from that the healing's begun, the swords are removed, and you're deciding now what to do next. And so one of the hardest things that happens when you're faced with this new beginning is, what is next? And maybe you've been in a situation where you haven't had to think about that for a while, right? But now you get a chance to reframe possibilities. So for some of you, it could be a right turn, and you might decide to change your career, change your course of study. You may decide, like I just recently did, to move. And by the way, moving significantly changes everything energetically for you. I gave away a lot of stuff. I need to buy some new stuff. Everything that I was used to going to, I can't really go to. I have to find new stores and new places. So people, energy, even neighbor, everything changes. So a change of environment, whether it's where you're currently at, shifting it up, moving completely, getting a new job, somehow shifting that up, it changes your entire life. And it actually gives you more energy too. It's just the movement out of that is hard. And again, coming out of a movement, I understand that. So I'm going to tell you this, it's worth the push, because if we look at these cards again, knowing now that we have a need to clear, and that's really what this is, a need to clear things up. So for those of you that might be in a stressful situation, the stress came through in the center, the Nine of Swords. The disconnection or the detachment came through in the environment. And on many levels, you're even disengaged here mentally. In some situations, people weren't utilizing your skills. And so that was part of the challenge. And now we just see enough. And what you're really getting this month is a chance to reclaim your power. So it's ending on the most positive note that it could, even though we saw some of those challenging cards. And so we have Empress reverse, which means I'm going to nurture myself. I'm going to take care of myself. You got a lot of Queen cards, and you have a lot of cards this month that were either on their side or reverse. So what we're seeing here is a chance to reorganize and reclaim. Reclaim or reclamation is really, really important, because what that implies is that it never was lost. It might have been given away, it might have been misplaced, but your energy is always yours to reclaim. So this month, you get to reclaim and you get to refocus, and it's a chance to figure out what to do with that. And that choice is all yours. And as we look at the expanded forecast, we'll drill into it a little bit more, and we'll look at how to be healthier, how to be more successful, how to find better relationships, and how to just have a better month in general, because that's what we're going to do next, which is health, wealth, love, and destiny. These are lenses that we put on top of the spread of cards to help focus it. Okay? So let's do that. Let's get some insight. We're going to begin with health first. Whenever I look at health, there's just a general note that I like to say, that I'm helping you see the opportunities. If you're already having, or if you start to experience any issues with mental or physical health, work with your professionals in your own life. But this is helping you make decisions, generally speaking, energetically. All right. So from an energy standpoint, we have the squirrel spirit coming through, and it says, believe in yourself. The squirrel's interesting because it's saving all of these nuts for a rainy day, right? Hiding all of this stuff. What I like about this is there's actually a very nice correlation. This card was reversed, and so is this. But the Nine of Pentacles and the squirrel, same energy. Saving things up, building things up, depending on its own energy and its own sort of ability to kind of create and support. Same thing coming through for this. At one point, however, the squirrel has to go and dig up those acorns and the nuts and say, all right, I need to eat today. I need to take care of myself. And so the healthy thing for some of you right now is to take some of the stuff that you've saved up or some of the work that you've put into creating something, and now's your time to enjoy, to expand, to explore. Because if you constantly build, but you never are in the moment or in the flow, life passes you by. We don't want that to happen. Life is precious. It is finite. Our souls are infinite, and we come back many times. But this lifetime in this body has an end and a beginning, or a beginning and an end. And so we want to make sure that the journey along the way, you're taking time to relax. So I think it's actually quite appropriate that the hanged man came through. You're being asked to slow down and be present. And that's what this is saying. Now, the believe in yourself is very connected to your own ability to expand in your consciousness. So many of you are receiving good instincts, as we see with the moon card, but it's a question of when am I going to do something about that? So now is the time to take action on those things that have been sort of in your head, and you've been wondering when, how, if. It's not an if, it's now a when, and the when is now. So hopefully that helps you out a little bit. All right, let's focus specifically on messages from the cards. We got a lot already, but I'm not going to belabor this one too much because I talked at the beginning a lot. But I would say stress management was the one piece that I didn't talk about. So sleep and time management for sure, but also stress management. And you definitely could benefit from either talking to a friend or a counselor with respect to stress. So do whatever feels best to you, but I could definitely see how that could benefit many of you. The other thing that we're seeing here is the positivity and the power of getting away from an environment. Even if it's a pleasant one, it's good to get outside. One of the best things about having a dog is I have to go for walks no less than 3 or 4 times, sometimes 5 or 6, depending on how much Apollo needs to go out. So we're out all the time, we're walking, he's sniffing, we're having a good time. I'm looking at the birds as he's looking at the flowers. So it's good to get a change of environment and a change of scenery because it helps you reset. It's also time to move on, and we're seeing that here. So for some of you, it's a breakup time, and you know, it's kind of interesting if we go back to my channel messages for just a moment. One of the things that I did say here was to leave on a good note. And the card that I chose at the time here was the 8 of Cups. Some of you may not be ready to make a full break, so you need a sabbatical or you're going to take some space. 6 of Swords, by the way, constitutes that kind of energy. If we combine the 6 of Swords with the 8 of Cups, it means I'm going, but I'm going to come back and then tell you what I think. So that's what I'm seeing here, is that it's important for some of you to let go and leave because it's either painful or stressful or it's just time, but it may not be the last time that you interact with this person. It's especially true if, for some of you, it could even be a maternal energy in your life, mother or mother-in-law, or a very strong woman. And so you can't completely disengage from family. There's going to be times when you have to see them again. So in this case, you're just going to create boundaries and distance, okay? I want you to pay close attention to the stress here because it can actually have an effect on your heart, your blood pressure, and things of that nature. Again, you're going to work with a psychologist and your doctors for this kind of stuff. 10 of Swords is, I actually, the other day, had to go and get a chiropractic adjustment because all the lifting and moving and all that stuff, it did a number on my body. And he's like, what happened? I said, I moved. He said, oh, that makes sense. So if it's time to do something like that, take care of yourself. I feel like a brand new person after that adjustment, I have to say. So chiropractic adjustment could be chronic pain or chronic fatigue or something that's coming back. Take care of it like I did. And I worked with a professional. Tarot won't help you through that. You got to go and get an adjustment if there's something going on in your body. So the heart needs a little bit of love. The back needs a little bit of love. And overall, just time and energy. This doesn't surprise me. Virgo, you're hardworking. And basically, you're maybe putting it on all octaves too much. So just take a day off this week. Pull it back just a little bit. Because when you give 80%, it's like other people's 105%. You're already doing an amazing job. Just pull back a little bit. You've got my permission and my support to take some time for yourself. And for each of you, that will look different. Some of you are fortunate enough to have vacation days. Some of you, like me, work for yourself. So that just means what I've done, adjusting my schedule and my habits a bit to do the best that I can as I'm adjusting to a new period. So however you're going to flex it, just give yourself a little bit extra. You'll thank me later. Also, taking care of yourself. This is a nurturing card. You've got 3 queens, basically, that came through. Queen of Wands, Queen of Swords, and the Empress, which is a queen. So take care of yourself. We're getting it in different ways. This is your mind. This is actually your body and your voice. And this is everything in your life. So this is a great time for self-care. And I think that's pretty much it when it comes to health. That was a lot, but there's a lot going on. You're successful. Let's kind of focus on the good stuff for a second. Whatever you've been doing, it's great. Nine of Pentacles and Ace of Pentacles are only going to come through as rewards for hard work. So what we want to do is allow you to keep going. I want this to be like a track and field long distance run. So you're not the sprinter, you're the long distance runner where you can keep going and going and going. And you do that by pacing yourself. Sometimes slowing down a little bit, sometimes speeding up a little bit, saving enough for that finish line. Okay? So pace yourself better than you have been, and you can still accomplish all that you need to do. That's the main message for health. All right, moving on from health to wealth. We have Ouroboros looking sea serpent here, fancy word for when the tail goes into the mouth here for a snake. What I'm looking at is the iris in the center of this. It looks like a big eye. Focus. It's all about focus when it comes to your work and your money. And also when we're looking at this, movement and flexibility, because a serpent has the ability to go in and out of situations. When I read with the Wildwood deck, I believe that serpents, I like the king cards are like snakes for that deck. I like that actually because it is a sign of power and flexibility. And sometimes flexibility creates the power. Good leaders are flexible leaders. They're not the ones that say it's my way or the highway. They're the ones that say, that's interesting. Let's explore. Give me some more information. I'll consider that. So keep that open mind. It's going to help you. Let's specifically look at resource and opportunities for you with respect to the cards and see if there's anything that I've missed so far. The first thing that I see is that, again, you've worked hard to get to this moment in time. I actually feel like if you need to negotiate for more, you can get it. It may not be immediate, but it's coming. So I like that. So if you want to stick around in a situation and you just need a little bit more, this is saying you've worked hard to achieve that. Good for you. Ask. For some of you, though, you're weighing out the environment. So the moon card is very interesting when it comes to places that we are spending time. Love situations, work situations, and school, all the same in this. The moon can be very clique-like energy where people are in groups. It can also be someone who's a little bit moody or a little bit secretive. It can also just be morale issues where you feel like you have to tiptoe around things. Why? Because the moon is territorial. And because it's also kind of reacting on your energy. So in this deck, we see call and answer, a dog and a wolf, or a dog and a coyote. And basically, one is feeding off the energy of the other. I always like to remind folks, we don't see it in this illustration, but typically there is a path between the wolves, and it leads to the moon. And so for you, there's another path that doesn't involve the friction or the presence of this energy. You can go in a different way, and that's the encouragement here. So go your own path, your own way, like that Fleetwood Mac song, but also explore something new. And if someone is meant to follow you, they will. But this is a chance to kind of try something different. For work and for money and just wealth in general, it looks like expansion is a key here. This is a good card. For business, it could mean that new doors are opening up in different countries. There could be globalization. You might be doing more work remotely. It's still a very good card, and it's saying, I'm going to open myself to working in different time zones and different places, different postal codes. So spread the word and expand if you're in your own business. Traveling for work could be beneficial as well. We're seeing an end to pain, and that's the main thing, and an end to being disgruntled. And so any decisions you make moving forward, if there's a new option on the table, it should be better than what you've been doing. We don't want to repeat. We want to upgrade and level up. And there is a little bit of a power struggle. There's a lot of power energy around you. So there could be too many cooks in the kitchen wherever you're at. Maybe too many bosses and not enough people that are doing things. There could be also just leadership arguments, which then leaves everyone else wondering, who am I going to listen to? So these are things to think about. But for yourself, the Nine of Pentacles, the Ace of Pentacles tells me you can do anything you put your mind to. The Six of Swords and the Moon are asking you to go in a different direction. Ace of Wands are telling you to really follow your instincts and to put that idea out there. I really feel like a lot of you are on the right path, and someone's just waiting for someone else to say it. So share your idea, okay? Looking good overall. All right, moving now from your work to your love energy, and this is going to hit in different areas. This can be personal relationships, love relationships, and also business. So we have one with the sun, be the light. So ultimately, this could be the sun card. The sun card is a fantastic energy because it's all about your charisma, and it's a birthing energy. So one of the things that I was looking at with the ace cards was it felt like you were holding on to or holding back a little bit. And when we're looking at relationships, we see it's time to just put yourself out there, be yourself. Let your individuality sort of shine through here. And also we see a very important smaller caption here which says, be the light. So a lot of times we have to be the light in the absence of, be the positive person in a room where there's negativity, and kind of like get people in that higher energy. So you may be the one lifting up this month a little bit, but you're going to do a great job with that. The sun is one of the ultimate magnet cards. The star is the same. Star, sun, lovers, they're all amazing. What's good about all of the aforementioned is that they pull with them better things and higher energies. So if you're in a place where you can't shine, you need to go to a place where you can. And when you do shine, you're going to shine so brightly that things are going to shift in a way that you couldn't imagine. This is really good if you're looking for love because you come across as attractive. It's a magnetic card. Let's break this down into 3 different areas. We're going to look at those in love or current relationships, looking for a relationship or partnership, and those that are single and happy. For those that are already in a relationship, you may have the most work to do of anyone. What it looks like is going on, this isn't always you and your partner. What I'm seeing here is that there could be something in the family. It could be a mother or mother-in-law. It could be extended family. There's some adjustment going on. This could be sickness. This could be also kind of like disappointment or depression. There's someone that's going through a difficult time, and environmentally or peripherally, this can actually be coming through to stress out one or both of you. Because when I look at the 2 of you, you seem pretty evenly matched. We have a Queen of Wands and a Queen of Swords. You're on the level. And the stubbornness here is met by the outspokenness of this card. So I feel like together you can work through anything, and we actually have the Moon and the Empress in the outcome state, so near future and outcome. So this to me reads as something going on that's seeping its way into your life, but we don't want it to overwhelm. So the environment is actually the key to success for those of you that are going through a stressful moment. It's saying, let's take a break. Like, not from each other, but like, let's take a break together and let's tune out some of that stuff, because there's only so much we can do about any given thing, especially if there's someone in your life that is both in the 10 and the 3 of Swords. They may just be in a very dramatic state. They need to want help and be open to help for you to be able to be there for them. So be there for one another first and foremost, and manage how much you're willing and ready to take on externally, and if you need to get some help as well. This is a good time to talk about goals and plans. Like I said, the Moon card can just be dreams and desires, and desires are an important thing to talk about with the one that you love. If there is any secrets or things that you've been keeping, get them out sooner than later. Make sure you're the person that says it rather than someone else, because when we look in the opportunity space, if that comes out, it's gonna be worse. So it's better if you are the conduit for communication. Otherwise, believe it or not, despite having these cards, because of the placements, this is stress, and this is stress that's in your head space, stress that's avoidable. It's actually not in your energy. It's around or adjacent. You're stress adjacent, but it's not necessarily because of your partner or because of the 2 of you. So it's how you're both going to deal with one another, being a little bit less than, centered. And remember here, if we go back to the catalyst, I haven't been looking at this as much as I should. It's saying that the focus could be in the wrong direction, that the grounding could be off. So you're going to help your partner get grounded. All right? That's the main thing that I'm picking up on. Let's focus now on those of you that are single and looking. You need to sort your life out first and foremost. The stress management piece is true for everyone. All Virgos this month, sort that out. And then distance yourself from drama. Once you've done that, then we actually see the moon coming in, which could be Scorpio, could be a water sign energy. I see a really strong person. Here's the interesting thing for the kind of person that you're bringing in. They are very much comfortable with asking for whatever they want, and they need a decent amount of energy. So if you're the kind of person that likes to take care of someone or likes to be there for someone, this person wants a lot, but they do like to be the boss as well. So I would say here, there is an opportunity as you're calling in a partner to figure out your limits, your boundaries, and to not be afraid to be outspoken. Some of you, it's just confirming that you're the boss. You're the boss and you're attracting other boss-like energy in your life. And that's fine. There could just be a little bit of butting of the heads if that's the case. So two queens sometimes have to figure out where their boundaries are energetically, and we've got two queens here in the spread, and we also have a queen in the outcome. So power struggles and power negotiation is going to be an important piece of new partnerships. We can read this more obtusely or abstractly if we're just looking at general business partnerships, because this can also be the same. And I would just say the important thing here is to figure out, again, who's doing what, who's going to take charge of what, and then letting that person have their freedom, giving them some distance, because whoever you're calling in likes space, and you may need your space too. And so communicate how space actually is going to be an important piece to happiness in your relationship, because that's what's coming through. You can't fake it. For some of you, there could be like mental attraction, and maybe it looks good on paper, maybe you're being set up by your friends, but the physical piece could be missing, and you can't fake that piece. So make sure that you're honest with someone if you're feeling a disconnect there as well. The good news, though, is you're shining really, really brightly here. And we have this one with the sun message here saying, anything that you put your mind to, anything that you really put yourself out there for, you have a chance of accomplishing. So, yay for that. Let's focus now on the energy of those of you that are looking for just general advice. You're not looking for love. You're single and happy, and you just want to see how interactions might be. Well, the main thing that I see here is that you could be getting new money or new job. There could be interest in investing in you, which I like. I really want you to be discerning. Because we have the 3 and the 10 of Swords, there's a possibility to repeat something. And this actually hits for all types of relationships. A possibility to repeat a karmic cycle that, believe it or not, you're done with. Because these cards are reversed. So don't let the fear of someone cheating, lying, or behaving poorly get in the way of someone who isn't that energetic signature this time around. You are wise enough, strong enough, and in tune enough to see a warning sign, but fear can still enter in, and you can worry like, this is too good, when is it going to fall apart? Don't worry like that. Start to think, I'm so happy I've learned and I'm doing better now. I'll see something if there's trouble, but I believe now that I'm on a new cycle of abundance. Because we don't want to call in that kind of energy. That hits on every level. But I think for those that are single, the biggest opportunity is financial growth and personal development and healing the wounds from the past. And in doing so, you're going to feel stronger, you're going to get more energy and more insight, and you may have the ability to take this energy elsewhere. Traveling is something that's really open for single folks. Fewer distractions, fewer things holding you down or holding you back. So I think you could really enjoy that kind of energy. Okay? That, my friends, is everything for love. Let's now focus on what's coming through here for your destiny. And this card almost looked like it's part of this deck, but it's not. It's a different deck. So we have distant shores. Very, very, very connected to the 6 of Swords energy here. So again, I feel like there's a person or an opportunity calling from afar. So widen your net when you're looking for someone or something new. It's not in your backyard. Or if this thing is coming through, this person or this opportunity is coming through, it didn't originate right around your backyard. There's something that is coming from afar, and there's an appreciation for who you are. They've been looking for you as much as you've been looking for them. So that's exciting. That's going to require patience and belief. So when that opportunity or when that person arrives, you'll pinch yourself. You'll think, I didn't think it was going to happen, but it's happening. That's okay. Trust in that. If you've been trying to manifest a new job, it's around the corner, but there could be travel. And if that's cool with you, good. And if it's not, that's something you'll have to evaluate, because the Six of Swords means either you need to move for it, you need to telework, like telecommute on Zoom, or you need to move or travel. So focus on how comfortable you are with that. Or you just need to look further out there if you're willing to do a little bit of commuting. Like, travel half an hour or an hour on public transportation or in your car. It could be something of that nature as well. Let's now move into the big idea. The big idea is going to give us one thing to focus on for success and for advice for the next 6 to 8 weeks, and let's see where we are. Nine of Wands, don't give up. Absolutely do not give up. This is a card here of reposturing. It's a kind of interesting pose. The traditional Nine of Wands, they would be holding that, but they're kind of like, they're hunched over a little bit. This one is saying, I'm getting a little bit more spring in my step. I'm figuring out what I want to do for this last leg of the journey. The best is yet to come. And you've earned every stripe, every wrinkle, every gray hair, everything that you've been through to get here. And I'm going to pull up the card for a second, because we'll see a bandage on this card, which I believe is sort of like your badge of honor. It's good. So whatever you've been through, however difficult it is, the main thing here is that, here we go. That was probably as difficult as it was going to get. And again, we actually got the Ace here, the Ace of Wands coming through to answer that. And it's saying the best is yet to come. You just need to follow through and finish. So I'm hoping now that what you can do is find your second sort of wind here, so that you can finally get through and get across the finish line, okay? So when you think it's over, don't give up, take a deep breath, take a day off. I found that just taking a day off can be so refreshing, or take a week off if you can. Sometimes with my production schedule, I've had to do that, like took a week off from the dailies, then started again, did some things differently, feel better about that. You need time, you need distance, you need to look at things differently, okay? So get some distance and get some perspective, and then get back to work, and you'll finish it and you'll be better for that distance and for that change, okay? Let's move now into overarching blessings and blocks and see what the universe has to say. Sometimes blessings are in disguise, sometimes blocks are not as bad as they seem. So let's just let the cards do the work. We got the blessing, Four of Cups, and the block, the Five of Cups. Interesting. Both of the cards, well actually the blessing was reversed, and I like this. I'll take a Four of Cups reversed because it means I see something differently now, and I'm looking at my life with more presence and more appreciation. Four of Cups upright, we see someone here ready to deliver, ready to give them something, but they're in their feelings. They're kind of like, ugh, I don't know, and this person's this, and then they're focused so much on external drama or internal drama that they're missing what's right around them. So the blessing this month is, it feels like you're done with that. And you did have all of your difficult cards reversed, including this. So know this, things are getting better. Things are improving. Things are on an uptick. And that's what you want to put into the universe each and every day. Some days will be better than others, but if you look at the trends, the analytics for your month ahead, they're going to look good. And be open to try, I keep saying this for you, Virgo, be open to a different approach. Someone or something new. It's going to be worth it. Sometimes we don't like what we try, but sometimes we love it. So you need to keep tasting at the sort of the buffet of life here, because some things are going to really get your energy and allow it to grow. So by and large, I like where you're headed, and the openness and the willingness to kind of go with the flow, which we also saw with the sea serpent, is a message that's coming and echoing in here for blessings. So go with the flow, be flexible, and know that you're trending in the right direction. And who cares, by the way, what other people think? That is a very good lesson of the Four of Cups, particularly reversed. Done with that. Been there, done that, it doesn't matter. Five of Cups in the upright for the block. It's simply about changing your direction. the Five of Cups, we always see two cups hidden or out of sight. And so these two cards are going to represent some of the challenges that you're going through this month. An opportunity that's coming, but you may not be looking at it. Support and love that's there and has been there, but sometimes you're not receptive to because you're looking at who disappointed you, what didn't happen, what delays were going on. So your block this month is not to focus on that, and instead to focus on the love, the support, and the opportunity, and what you can control. So don't be blocked by what you couldn't control. Be inspired by what you can control. Don't worry about the fair weather friends that left you. Look at the two friends that stood by you through thick and thin. You've got blessings, you've got clarity, and it took some of the difficulty to figure out what happened. And it's like a sieve, right? Pain and disappointment is like a sieve. Through that sieve, the strong sort of energy is going to persist, and all the junk, you can toss that if you need to. So you're kind of getting rid of the stuff you don't need, all right? So let's move on now to the viewers and the readers' choices. All right, this is a chance for both of us to go a little bit deeper and see what's inspiring us. Let me just grab my keyboard here. We'll look at the cards and see what's coming through. All right, so let's get the desk set up here and let's see what energies I'm pulled to look in a little bit more. By the way, thanks to everybody giving a super sticker. I'll acknowledge you a little bit later at the end of this reading. Okay, so as I'm looking at what's in front of me here, I really want to help with healing. I feel like that's the reader's choice. We can't not look at the 9, the 3, and the 10 of Swords. So I choose that for you. Let's see what you can choose, because that's too important and it factored in too many ways. All right, so how and when to explore these new opportunities. So how to identify an opportunity. It's a good question. I'd like to know that too. Should I stay or go? Because we've got a movement car. So should you stay or go? And then fighting for resources, advocating, let's use that, advocating for appropriate resources. And I have too many words on that one. I'm just going to say advocating, and I'll just put dash appropriate resources. Let me see if there's anything else. I think that's it. That's good. All right, so you have a choice now to vote on those. I'm going to help you with the healing. It was too important and it was too present to not look at that. So we're going to dig deeper into 9 of Swords, 3 of Swords, and 10 of Swords. And what we really want to look at here is how to let the past be in the past, how to truly kind of let all that energy go. And also kind of like a bigger question that I have is like, what is this serving? Why is it there? So what can we learn from those energies? How can we let them go? All right, so the Hierophant is such an interesting card, and it carries so many different connotations. So you're in a position now where the person that you may have looked up to didn't sort of come through in the way that they wanted to, even though we would normally associate this with the 5 of Pentacles. I'm getting a little bit of the Hierophant here. And it's giving you a chance to step in as teacher, leader, mother, father, and to create your own structure. As a reader in the 21st century, a younger reader, I like to look at the Hierophant in a more modern perspective. Yes, it's about structures, but it's just as much about creating your own structures and about going against like patriarchal energy or old school energy that's kind of holding us back, as it so often does. And so I think here there could be someone that just disappointed you in the way or the manner in which they handled something, and you are going to step in and be the leader that you wished that they could have been. And that's going to serve you in so many different ways. It's also going to help other people. So be the leader that you wish you could have had. You might be deciding to be your own boss. And it's also energy around paternal energy. Paternal and maternal energy, let's just say parental energy is playing a big role this month. So some of you could just be stressed out by being a parent, but some of you might be reliving or reworking some of the lessons that you had as a kid. And so this is just about establishing your power, your direction, your desires. And if people are willing to connect with that, great, and if not, it might be time, like I've been saying, to move in your own direction, okay? The old structures aren't fitting you anymore. We see the people here outside of the church. Normally we would see a papal figure and 2 disciples and the 2 keys here. So the keys within, we don't even need to have the symbology of the key. You can just say that the key's in your heart. We all hold the key to our own destiny, and we don't need to be in these old structures anymore. So create a new way. You're not stuck, you just have to kind of like create a different path. And that's what I'm seeing. Kind of very abstract and elevated message that came through for that, but that's what I'm getting. And yeah, it's an interesting Hierophant card. We see youthful figures here. We see them outside of the church, and everybody's learning from everybody. So we all can kind of take turns being the leader and take turns learning. You're never too old to learn. You're never too old or too young to have an opportunity for that power. So let's just let the old roles die and try something different. All right, let's focus now on the question that you chose from me. How to identify an opportunity? I like it. It's positive. Let's see how to identify what's coming in for you. All right. Well, this looks familiar. Networking, right? This is really closely connected. Let me actually pull up the 3 of Cups interpretation I did, and then we'll kind of go off of that. So as I said earlier, it's going to be really, really important for you to put yourself out there. So here we go. Earlier I said good news was on its way. Your name was on the lips of others. So for those of you that might be working really hard, you could be considered for a raise, etc. But mixing and mingling was going to be important as well. So to answer your question, it's time to get out there and to network. And if there's anything that you need or want to get done, to speak up, because that was there as well. But how to identify the opportunity, put yourself out there, and it should come to you, because when we look at the energy here of the sun, someone could just be really drawn to what you have to say, how you're presenting yourself, how you're speaking. So part of this is just being at the right place at the right time and being open and ready to communicate. You're in the spotlight. And we see multiple spotlights here, very much connected to what we saw here. There's a group energy coming through. There could be, for those of you looking for the right connections, it could be a team. We see a team of 3, and we see in this card the different spotlights. And here we see there really isn't the challenge for you is who's the boss. And that could be the cause of pain and discomfort this month, is identifying. So we're actually answering both questions. So for opportunities, I see a team coming together, and I see the challenge in the team as who's doing what and when. So spend some time before separating out to clearly delineate opportunities and responsibilities and deliverables at the beginning, particularly for work stuff. In relationships, the opportunity for some of you is you might be overwhelmed. There might be a lot of new friends, new people coming into your life, and you need time and space to figure out who you want to spend more time with or how you want to develop that, because we're getting that revolving door again. So for you, clarity of what you're supposed to do and what they're supposed to do, and then allowing enough time with each person to feel like you're not kind of getting overly distracted. But the opportunity comes in a group, and it comes in a team, and it comes through networking. It's not something that's going to happen behind closed doors in your own room. You need to get out there. You need to put yourself out there, or talk to someone else that will talk to someone else. So it comes through another person, a friend, a colleague, etc. So mix and mingle and develop those partnerships and friendships, and more will come from that. Okay? And the 3 of Cups, I'm looking at someone's question there, who can you trust? You want to be careful, as I said with the 3 of Cups, when it comes to sensitive information. You would trust the people that you know the most. But a good rule of thumb when it comes to, should I say it? If you are worried who might be listening, you can't say it. If what you said or are about to say could hurt someone, don't say it. If it's sensitive, don't say it. Everything nowadays we should just imagine could be recorded and put on social media. And as long as we're comfortable with that being out there, then you're fine. And if you're not comfortable with everyone hearing it, don't say it to that person yet. This is not a one-on-one card. This is group, and in group dynamics, you're going to be cognizant of the group and also understanding that you can't control everything in that group. So that's the challenge this month, is how to operate well in a group dynamic, how to figure out who's doing what. And when it comes to trust, trust is earned, trust is made apparent over time. And so you'll give one another time to kind of sort that out. You need to earn it, though, I would say, in the Three of Cups. I hope that helps. All right, let's move on to the next portion, which is going to be sun, rising, and moon. Before we do that, just a quick reminder, if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button. It's important to the growth of the channel, and we're really close to a milestone. So once we get there, I'll do a Q&A. You can join me on social media as well. And if you'd like to show love and support, you can do that in real time. All right, now let's get into the sun, the rising, and the moon messages for this period in time. All right, so as always, you can use this for any aspect of your chart, but this portion, we're going to drill in a little closer on the 3 different aspects that I think most people like to focus on. So I'll pull one card for each. Sun, rising, and moon. Beginning with sun sign messages. Coming out of your shell, we have the Hermit card in reverse. So here with the Hermit card in the upright position, we see a figure atop a hill with the moon or the sun behind him. And basically what the Hermit discovers is their own purpose, their own light, their own power. What happens when the card is reversed is they're ready and willing to say, this is who I am and this is what I stand for, in a more public way. You found out who you are, you don't need validation anymore, and you're not afraid of visibility. So you're being asked and being encouraged and being presented with opportunities that are going to let you come out of your shell. It's a good month, actually, Virgo sun. This is a chance for you to shine and to surprise people, because there is an element of surprise with Hermit reversed. They're like, oh, I didn't know you had that in you, or where did that come from? Meanwhile, you're thinking, I had it all along, but some of you have been holding back. You've been thinking and overthinking things, and so show people a hidden strength, a hidden passion, something that you just kept close to your heart or under your sleeve. And this is when you're going to shine like the star that you are. The only thing that's missing on this Hermit, because I love the Hermit card, I would have liked to have seen like a star on the hill. Interestingly enough, it was the bottom card in this deck. So if we look really closely here, we see he's holding the star. And it's not because he's seeking that, it's like he's becoming that energy. So this is your chance to shine. And we actually got this in love and relationships, a different type of star, the sun, which is a star. So this is your chance to show your true colors. The sun is interesting because it's basically being comfortable with yourself, putting a little bit of the ego and the energy out there, and not being afraid. So your boldness will pay off, and then your hidden knowledge, your acumen, your skills are also going to show off. But you need that little bit of personality or charisma or flair to really kind of bring it home, okay? And when you think of amazing leaders, they tend to have just a little bit of bravado, just a little bit of presence, and it helps. Performers have this. They're very good at it. Even if in their own life they're quiet, when they go on stage, it's time, and we see there's a little bit of that spotlight energy this month. So when you're with the team, don't be afraid to turn it up one notch, okay? That's going to help you out. Moving from sun to rising. Rising is a really great energy to look at when you are focusing on work, external relationships, just how you're being perceived on that stage. For you, we've got our third ace, Ace of Cups. Also reversed, common theme this month. The aces, the opportunities, seem to be coming from unexpected vantage points. That doesn't make them any less important. So there could be someone that says, I like you, I'm interested in you. What do you think about this? They want to get your read, they want to get your take, and they're very interested in what the heart, what your insight has to say about it. How do you feel? And that's actually, if I were your English professor, that would be your prompt, your writing assignment. How do you feel about, and then insert the blank with whatever it is that's coming through. Also, it's saying, generally speaking, focusing on mental health is going to be super important, and letting your creative side and your creative flair come out. That could be your hidden talent. People just don't know how sensitive, connected, and and really sort of creative you are. So expressing that. But as a sort of litmus test or a grade of how you're showing up in the environment, it's really good. I couldn't ask for a better card than an ace, and particularly an ace of cups, okay? Remember this, you are using your energy, your emotions, and your insight to guide you. You're not beholden to them. And that's the one thing with the ace reversed, is to be inspired, but don't feel like overburdened by it. Just kind of let that energy flow through you. I really do like that we got the serpent for you. Let things come and go, let things pass through you, be the conduit, be like the magician, the channel, okay? Moving from our rising to our moon sign messages, it's a busy month for you. So if you happen to have moon in Virgo, I think the most important thing for you is focusing on how to stay engaged in the task or the tasks at hand. The interesting thing with this is we see competition. You can see all of these different individuals sort of like trying to figure out who can get a leg up on the other person. One of my favorite cards, and I'm trying to remember which deck it is in. I think it might be in the Modern Witch deck. But it's basically one where there are two wands being held up, and then there are, actually I guess it's the Seven of Wands. There's a leadership opportunity. So I almost feel like there's a chance for you to step ahead and kind of lead the other people. In this Five of Wands, if one person were to take the lead, then we would have four wands in the background, which would be harmonious. Somebody just needs to lead. I do think there's an issue with leadership in general. It's a common theme. So one thing that I've seen almost 3 times is who's the boss, who's in charge, who's doing what. And so for this, I see a little bit of chaos when it's coming to a task. Now, if you're working for yourself, this could be disorganization and a lack of prioritization. So on any given day, think to yourself, today I'm going to do this. I have to put stuff on my calendar. I had one, like with the move, I had to change my address for like the DMV. And I found out I could do it online, so it was easy. But I thought, all right, tomorrow, don't forget, change your address. So I put things, and when I go shopping, I need a list because my mind is going in so many directions. If it's not on the list, I'm not going to remember it. So make yourself a list and prioritize that list. You'll thank yourself in the moment, in the day. So you may need to be your own boss. You may need to kind of step in. And the key thing with Five of Wands is that it's the wrong word sometimes. Instead of competition, we want cooperation and collaboration. So shift it to that collaborative and cooperative energy, less of the competitive energy that we see here. And prioritization and list making and schedule making is going to be very, very important. You've got a lot to do, you're going to get a lot done, but you need to have the focus, okay? There you go, my friends. So we have one more important piece of the reading to come. We're going to be moving along to the meditation in just a moment. With the meditation, there are 3 different things that we're going to look at. First, we're going to meditate. Then I'll do a sound bath to help you integrate the energy. And then at the very end, we have a final card. So if any of you are focusing on one big question in your life, I do my best to help you see everything available, but there's usually one specific thing that you still have. This is your chance to ask it after we're finished with the meditation. So scribble it down so you don't forget. We talked about list making. Just relax and breathe. And I really want to help you heal. As I'm looking at the 9 of Swords, the 3 of Swords, and the 10 of Swords, there's a lot of energy around healing and moving here. And so I think what we could do here is to just kind of push light through your physical and subtle body. And wherever there needs to be a healing, we're going to allow that to take place. I like to work with butterflies in this healing exercise, and we're going to work with the color green. There's probably a reason that I changed shirts this morning. I had like blue, and I thought, no, it's a green day. So we're going to work with green, which is the color of the heart. All right, so close your eyes and see yourself in a field of clover. And it's a fragrant sort of smell because the clover blossoms are also all around you. You can hear the buzz of bees and hummingbirds around you, but directly around your body you see beautiful butterflies just kind of dancing around. Find a space where the grass is low enough and dry enough that you can just lay back and feel the soft support of the earth beneath you. And connecting with this beautiful green energy, you can put your hands on the earth face down for a moment just to kind of absorb that energy. And then let the beautiful solar light coming down from the sun just warm up your body. And just like the grass, you can absorb that energy. allowing yourself to receive this beautiful recharge. So if you've been tired or fatigued or sick, the sun comes through and it melts away any pain, any sickness, any sort of thoughts that are not of the highest energy. Feeling the gentle blades of grass beneath your hands, beneath your legs, beneath your feet, I want you to imagine that each and every one is operating kind of like a ray of light. And they're starting to feed into you these beautiful beams of green energy that is connecting to your heart space. So you are a part of this field of clover and field of grass around you. And now you're a welcoming energy for the butterflies, which are now ready to come in and do their work their magic. So imagine any color butterfly that you want, because they have many different colors, blue or white or purple or whatever color you want to imagine. See these butterflies flying around your body, and they're going to land on the place where you feel pain or discomfort or where you want to see healing happen. And their touch is gentle. It's like a feather. You can barely feel them. But then you can start to feel the gentle movement of their wings. And as they start to gently move their wings, you can see the green energy moving around them and into your body. And you can see anything that doesn't need to be there moving out and going into the sun. Just allow the butterflies to work on your body. And I'm going to play a sound bath for you so you can just relax and float away a little bit like the butterflies. Take a deep breath. Say to yourself, the past is the past. I'm an active creator and participant in my present and future. Focus on what you can control. And in this moment in time, I want you to turn your attention to the final question that you had for me. Open your eyes if you haven't already. Keep that in your mind. Let me put this to the side, and then I'm going to read the card. Again, looking at the final question that you have for me today. We have a great card coming through here, the Six of Cups. The Six of Cups is reversed. So for some of you, one of the interesting things here I would say is it's a yes, but there could be a surprise here. There's a chance for you to return to something that you've disconnected from. Six of Cups is a card that represents childhood, friendships, best friendships in fact, close sibling relationships, and innocence that's been lost. It's basically all of the childhood energy that you could put into one card. It's right here. So with the card in reverse, it's saying it's not all lost. A dream from the past, a little bit of that innocence, a little bit of the magic or the belief. In this moment in time, you're supposed to connect with that childlike energy in order to accomplish the question or the goal or the thing that you're focusing on. So the answer is it's probably a lot easier and more fun than you might imagine. And what you need to do is just sort of like go with the flow and enjoy this. Children don't get freaked out too much. Sometimes they lack the fear that they should have. Sometimes they have too much. But the main thing is they hold on to it only as long as they can focus on like running to the next place. Like it's in and it's out. So one thing that you could do right now is to just kind of like let it go. I think that for those of you looking for love or relationships, this is a very strong harbinger of yes, it's coming. There's also a desire here to clean up the energy from the past, which I talked about, leaving clean slates. And ultimately, this is a yes card. But the yes comes through people, just like we saw here. Since the 3 of Cups was already taken, we got the 6 of Cups because I'm working with one deck of cards here. So I see the biggest movements and the biggest opportunities coming through friends, family, and networks this month, and in unexpected times or places because the card was reversed. So again, a nod to these sort of networks, and again, for some of you, a chance to go a little deeper in a relationship as well. So it's positive energy across the board. But the one thing that I really like, and it may not even be a direct answer, I'm interpreting the card as well, is that there's something from your past that it's not lost. You're rediscovering or reclaiming a little piece of that innocence, okay? But if I had to say yes or no with 6 of Cups, it would be yes. And it's yes in a group setting or yes with someone that you love, okay? Because that's not a solitary card. All right, folks, that is it for today. Thank you so much. Again, I'm gonna say thank you at the very end to everybody that gave back, but before I do that, please hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and the bell icon as well. I'll be posting some links for the collective in the next 2 videos coming up after that later today. Also, you can join me on Super Chat, Super Sticker memberships here, which I'll say thank you in just a moment. And let's do that right now. All right. So for all of you that have been longtime viewers, thank you for your longtime support. And it's good to have you here today. If you're brand new, I want to call out the newest members and the newest folks that have given a Super Sticker or Super Chat. So let's look at the new members. Members, by the way, when I get to the Q&A, and we're very close, I think we're maybe, it might be something like 600 or 700 away, so hopefully this will happen this month if we're diligent about it. You'll have a chance to ask questions, all the members. All right, so let's take a look here. Sue Davis, welcome, brand new member, and it looked like you joined today, thank you. Michelle Millis, also rejoining after 2 months, thank you. And I think those are the 2 from today, so thank you to those 2 newest members. And now for those that gave back with Super Stickers and Super Chat, let's take a look here. And this helps me buy new materials and cards, and I'll be doing some of that today. I don't know if I'll have it all for the weekend, but I'm going to do some shopping here. Sarah Georgelin, thank you so much for your sticker, kicking things off today. Isha Marie, good to see you back here. Thank you for your support. And WPen1278, thank you as well. I think that's everybody for today. Thank you so much. And again, I will be live on Sunday, and then I'm always here during the week on Monday, Thursday, and Friday. Plus, I do daily videos. You can see those daily videos not only on YouTube, but also on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Remember, I don't give private readings or use direct messages, so if you do join me elsewhere, keep that in mind. In the meantime, thank you so much, everyone, for a beautiful reading today. From Apollo, who is so pleasantly stretched out behind me, and myself, I wish you the best today, tomorrow, this week, and the month ahead, and I hope to see you real soon. Take care of yourselves, and again, I appreciate you. Bye-bye.